Hello and welcome to our daily meeting, I could say. It's always a pleasure to be with you and to share with you the gospel because in reality it's true that it's a good news. And a good news, we always want to share it with people we know that we don't know, but hoping that this will bring happiness and love in your life. And today, well, it's something special, but it finishes well. Let's put it that way. Today we see the how do you call them in English? The Pharisiens, but the Pharisees. They want to eliminate Jesus. They just It says here in the verse, the Pharisees went out and took counsel against Jesus and tried to see how they could destroy him. What had done Jesus? Well, he was like confronting them about the Sabbath, the law, the temple, telling them that he was higher than the law, and that he was the temple of God. But for a Jew, the temple was the most important. Before the temple, there was God, then the temple of God. And Jesus says he was higher. Maybe my word is not exact, but understand what I'm trying to tell you. Jesus was higher than the temple. So this is what they couldn't understand and couldn't accept, that Jesus, they saw he was a good teacher, a good prophet, he had a few miracles, but they couldn't accept that he says that he was God. This was the major point, and this is why they're going to crucify him also. But at this time, what does Jesus do? He could have answered all the objection they had, because with his wisdom, with his knowledge of God, he could, as we say in French, he could have put all the Pharisees in a little box and put them aside. He could have crushed them. He could have shown to the people how their arguments were foolish. He didn't do anything of that. He just waited. He was patient. And the text in the Gospel of Matthew today says, he's talking about when the prophet Isaiah was talking about the servant that was coming in the name of the Lord. And this is Jesus. And they said, God said, I will put my spirit upon him, and he will proclaim justice to the Gentiles. He will not cry aloud. Anyone is not going to hear his voice in the street. He will not break a bruised reed or quench a smoking wick. He's going to be patient. This is a quality. I don't know if you have all that patience, the same as Jesus had, but I don't have it. But we all need a lot of patience in this world. Patience for ourselves, patience for the people who are around us, patience for our spouse. We need patience with our children. And Jesus just tells us, wait, don't go too fast, pray, wait. Maybe something can happen, but it's not the time to break everything. This is what he wants to show us today. And there's a prayer in a Mass that comes once every 30 days that says, you show your mercy when you are patient, God. That's beautiful. God shows his mercy when he's patient. One day I asked my mother, I was very young, I was just starting to go to church and to confession, and I probably was in first or second grade. And I asked my mom, I said, Mommy, what does a mummy say when she goes to confession? I know what I have to say. I have to say that I disobeyed, that that I didn't do my prayers in the morning, and that I answered, and that I sort of fighted with my brother. I have to say that because I always do it. But what does the mummy say when she goes to confession? My mother just started laughing. She looked at me and she said, "You really don't know?" I said, "No." She said, "You'll learn one day. You'll learn." But after that, she talked many times about her impatience. And when I asked her, "Ma, can I pray for you? Can I ask something to the Lord?" "Yes, ask him that I be more patient." And at the end of her life, this is the most fantastic part. At the end of her life, in the house where she was staying, the nuns and everybody who was caring about her said to me, "How your mother is so patient, is so patient." And I just looked at them and I said, "Do they know who's my mom is? Are they talking about somebody else or my mom?" But they were really talking about Mom. And I just wondered, not long ago, I wonder how she became so patient at the end of her life. But I think her secret was her rosary, because she was always saying her rosary many times a day. She had this little CD machine, and she used to listen to the rosary. And she had a rosary, and she sat there, and she said all these Hail Mary, full of grace. And when a nurse came into her room at night time, she would tell them. I heard all this after she passed away. And she said to the nurse, "Come on, enter, and you can sit down just for a little while. I don't need any care, any special care, so you can sit down and say," I don't know how you say just 10 of these Hail Marys, "but you can say a little bit of rosary with me, and at the end you can turn my cassette, and so I can continue listening to the rosary." She said so many rosaries at the end of her life that gave her all the peace and all the joy she needed. She was so busy when we were teenagers, working outside, working inside of the house. She was so busy. I understand now why she was impatient, but at that time I didn't understand. But how did she change? Is because with the rosaries she became so peaceful, so full of joy, just very calm, and she turned out to be very, very patient. So if this can help you, we'll pray today the rosary, and we'll ask the Blessed Mother to help us become patient. I think our world needs our patience, at least the world that is living around us. So have a very nice, patient day, a wonderful day for those who are living with you, and we will meet again tomorrow.